A question for you. Did the passing of somebody close to you ever have a life changing effect on your life? The passing of my dad in a car accident shortly after I turned 29 certainly did. Mum and I had a very harrowing year in which we decided to sue the driver that caused the accident for compensation and hired a lawyer. The lawyer started requesting paperwork from us in order to build a strong compensation case. Because my parents were relatively young and healthy, they never kept anything and never thought that they would need these documents for any reason. So, Mum and I had a very stressful year trying to get them. Later on in that year, a friend of mine who was very helpful to me while I was studying at university asked me to lunch. I happily accepted the invite because I saw it as a respite to all the problems that we were having. So while we were having lunch, Milan asked me to do him a favor. He wanted me to send a box of chocolates to his ex-girlfriend in Germany anonymously through my friends because, as he explained to me, they were both married and he didn't want anybody to have any problems. He just wanted to have her the box of chocolates that he used to give her and know that he was still thinking about her. I never thought anything of it and readily accepted the chocolates for forwarding them on. A few days later, I packed them and I enclosed a short note with the address and also the instructions to my friends to forward them on. Then I mailed them and felt very happy about being able to do a favor for my friend Milan. Well, a few months later, the police knocked on my door and informed me that Milan had laced each chocolate with strychnine, that there was no girlfriend, but there was an elderly aunt of his German wife that he wanted dead so that he could get his hands on her inheritance nice and quick. After the initial shock that also shocked his wife and many of his friends who probably to this day refuse to believe that he actually did this, a great sense of betrayal and anger started welling up inside me. All I could think of is how to kill Milan to get back at him for what he did to me and my friends. Thankfully, something else in my heart told me that killing him wouldn't be a very good idea because I can kiss my life goodbye as well, sitting somewhere in jail, paying for it. So I sought other alternatives. I voluntarily entered psychotherapy and started working with a psychologist in trying to find out what inside of me could have caused Milan to use me in this manner. When an ex-colleague of mine saw me struggling with all these negative emotions, he suggested that I take the Silva Mind Development course, which he just completed. He persuaded me to go and attend a free introduction night in which the instructor explained, among other things, that he was going to teach us tools so that nobody would be able to use us again. Well, this was exactly what I wanted to hear, and I signed up for the course immediately and paid for it with my credit card because I certainly didn't have the money and didn't know how I was going to pay for it. Nevertheless, I really took to the course and to the psychologist's help, and incredible things started happening to me very soon. In the first instance, I started having premonitions, which I never had before, and I saw events that were coming. This was a very useful tool, and I was very impressed by it and more than ever determined to learn more. Just like to ask you, have you got all your documents in order? If something happened to you, would you be able to access them very quickly to provide them to somebody else? When this incident happened, I got myself a file like this and started collecting mine, just like this in there. You can get yourself any kind of file, just have them somewhere together. As I did for my mom, I got her an organizer where I've asked her to collect all hers as well. Being in this electronic day and age, I have all my documents scanned electronically too, and I'm keeping them in a safe place. So if anything like this happens again, I'll be able to access them very quickly. I suggest that you do so too, because believe me, it's going to save you a lot of time and stress. I've also created this book, My Spiritual Journey. It's a workbook, and it also has reminders to collect your documents and have them in one place. So if you have this book, you can work with it and let your family know exactly where they are and have them together. I certainly don't expect any of you to go through anything like I went through with Milan, but you never know these days because life is crazy and people do crazy things, so it could very well happen to you too. If it does, I strongly urge you to seek professional help like I did. You may want to start with calling the Lifeline and be pointed in the right direction. Or alternatively, you may also wish to undergo psychotherapy or take some self-help courses that will deal with your problem. Above all, I urge you to always listen to your intuition because it will always guide you to the right course of action.